Thank you, everyone, for joining another Captain Meet the Crew. So I'm very excited. I have Anna Reale, who is a new member of the Captain team for the last couple months, but we really want to introduce who's working on the Captain project, how they got started, just so you get to know each other and hopefully inspire you to get involved yourself. So, Anna, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah, I am here since 6 months only, or already, we can say. I'm part of the Captain Core, so I'm working on the back end. I'm quite happy to have done this change in my life. I was before a PhD student and a teacher in a university in Budapest in Hungary. And I really liked to travel a lot. I'm coming from Italy. I traveled a lot to Europe and whatnot. And now I landed here in Villach, which is a beautiful mountain village in the Carinthia in Austria. And I had the chance to join the Captain Corps and to start working with them. Pretty nice experience.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, definitely a world traveler and traveled around. So yeah, so your hometown, that's where in Italy is that?
Oh, it's very far southeast. It's called Termoli. It's this little fisherman village with a tiny little Norman castle in there. It's a pretty cute place.
So that's perfect. All right. So we got Captain, you got fishing. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So
it was destiny.
So, well, I guess maybe how did you find Captain? I mean, was it just the fish in the analogy? I'm sure there was another reason, but yeah, tell us about how you got started with Captain, and I guess you work for Dynatrace as well. Is that right?
Yeah, it was quite a coincidence. I was finishing my PhD, and in that I was looking forward to find a company where to have a period of introduction. So that was part of my PhD program, and I contacted Dynatrace with that in mind, like, hey, I have this and this competence. Do you have something? And they were like, hey, why don't you join our open source project? And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Oh, that's great.
To tell the truth, I was quite nervous. I wouldn't be able because it looked quite a big project with lots of technology involved and many things I didn't know. But one day I started with one PR, and the next thing I was doing, I was changing the whole code base. So touching everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how people get started, right? I mean, you learn about it and you try it, maybe you test it, maybe you install it. But I know you're an advanced IT professional. So I mean, so when you say the back end, what are you working on now, and what are you planning for the future?
One of the things I'm most proud of that we are working right now is concerning what we call zero downtime. So we are reworking the whole Captain in a way that whenever we are doing an update or an upgrade, the final user doesn't perceive that. So this means in the background that we are rethinking all the way that we are doing communication and all the way that we are handling how services interact, so that they can be as independent as possible and they can go off and on without you seeing it.
So what kind of, languages and things like that if someone wanted to work in that area, like what sort of skill set and kind of things would they need to have as a base knowledge to do something like that?
So in general, having an idea about concurrency really helps. So if you test it in any language, like in Java or in anything else, you have tested this. Of course, we use on an everyday basis container technologies. So playing with Docker for sure is something which is highly appreciated. We use Kubernetes, which is an orchestration for containers. That is a bit of a more advanced topic. Indeed, this is something you don't find much at school, but I would strongly suggest if you want to find many opportunities in our fields nowadays, this can be a very highly requested skill.
Yeah.
Personally, we are now coding in Golang. However, the front-end part is being done in JavaScript, and there are many other possibility to join with other knowledges. So,
right. Well, that's the nice thing about containers, right?
Yes.
So what you can encapsulate the service,
Exactly.
Language independent. But you're right. I agree. Like those technologies Go is very popular. Kubernetes, there's lots of, it's an advanced topic, but it does start with a container. So it's definitely, you can start with containers, learn how that works, and then kind of work with some of the open source projects, even around that too. Well, that's great, Anna. So I think we're going to just maybe leave a parting thought with. I think you've given some tips for
Mhm.
technologies, and it's great to meet you. Excited you're part of the team, and so any other advice or tips for anyone that wants to get involved in Keptn? Just
Probably not to get scared. We do have a label which is called Good First Issue. Just filter on our GitHub for those and have a look at those. Just start and don't be afraid to ask, because we every day are happy to answer and to co-participate in solving even the tiniest issues.
yeah.
So I think, yeah, start.
All right.
That's the best.
That's great advice. All right. Well, thank you. Glad we got to meet you today. And for anyone else who wants to be introduced, just reach out to us, and we'll be happy to share your experience with everyone. So, thank you, Anna, and
Thank you.
take it easy.